Hello there, dear YouTubers. My name is King1993, and today is another day of me trying to explain another Aethergazer character. And today's character will be called Leviathan Countertide. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, do understand that this is a beginner's and intermediate guide only, not a meta guide. So, most of the advanced information for this character I am unable to give. So, without further ado, let's get started again. Okay. Now, this modifier, as I said, the name is Leviathan Countertide. Okay, here it is, Leviathan Countertide. Now, what type of character is she? Well, she can be categorized into three different types of character. Okay, she is a water type damage dealer, as you can see here, the watermark. She is a trace type bar filler. So basically speaking, there will be bar at the bottom of the screen, especially in this area in the combat, which I will show you later. So every time you basically hit the enemy with a skill, the enemy will take damage obviously, but also at the same time those skill are gonna activate those traces. Okay, now there is up to 4 traces for this character. Not know how many traces are there for how many characters anyway. And other than these two things, traces and water type, okay, this is another thing which is called the Zen zone. Basically speaking, which modifier is basically made by which manufacturer, that's basically how it goes. Now, even though I said manufacturer, there is nothing actually written about that here. Okay, but I do know that they are made. Now, here is the thing. This character, Zen Zone, is called Asterism. So, when you use Asterism as a leader, what will happen? The mods, all the mods, okay, attack from all the mods in the team is gonna do defense piercing damage up to a fixed percentage. And this is the modified zone. Modified mode. What is the modified mode? In the modified mode, the boss are the only enemies that are gonna be unable to attack you for a certain period of time, and they will be vulnerable to your attack. So basically speaking, in order for you to gain the maximum amount of damage in the modified mode, the Asterism are the great example of that. Okay. Now, other than that, the question remains is what other type of character is she? She's a melee type character. Basically speaking, she will be doing short range damages only or close range damages only, and that is basically her main thing. Now let's talk about the skill. Before talking about the skill, there are another section which is called the ultimate skill chain. Let's see about that. Now in the ultimate skill chain, what happens is there is another character called Vidar. So if you combine this character Vidar with this Leviathan S, or let's say Leviathan Countertide, I'm just gonna say Leviathan S, then what will happen that it will basically do a large quantity of damage to the enemies, and also will make the teammates take less damage and restore HP up to a certain point. So that's basically how it goes. But we obviously know that this is not gonna be happening most of the time. Most of the time what is gonna be happening is you will be giving this character in bossless battles where the boss are weak against a certain type. So if the boss were to be weak against water type, so this is the best example. Okay, now other than that, if you were to ask me, okay, what are these other skills capable of? These other skills, or let's say normal attack, are gonna be the thing. Instead of me explaining all of these here, I'll be talking about them in these tutorial practices. Okay, let's go there. First of all, this is the normal attack. Basically speaking, hitting the enemy with this normal attack up to a certain amount, what will happen is the enemy will take damage, but also at the same time you will be gaining 1 traces. So there are total 4 traces for this character here. So let's see. Okay, so that is how you basically gain 1 traces. Okay, now after that there is another thing which is called the dodge. What happens when you dodge? When you dodge, it basically creates a particle image. Basically speaking, this character will duplicate itself, and then the enemy will get confused after the attack. I do not know if that even worked. Like, do the enemy even get confused or not? I do not know. Let's see about that. Now the next one is triggering extremity dodge to enter 0 time during. Okay, so basically speaking, not only the enemy will get confused, but another thing is the enemy will also enter the slow time mode where the enemy movement is gonna get slowed. So the enemy is now slowed, but I do not know whether the enemy has gotten confused or not. Okay. So let's talk about this skill 1. Skill 1 basically marks the character. Now, if there is only one bosses, you can use this up to multiple times. It doesn't matter. But if there is many mobs in the field, or let's say 2 bosses, then using it only one time. If there is one boss or one enemy, use this multiple time. Or if there are multiple enemies, use it one time. Okay. Now what it does is some water damage, but also at the same time it will gain 1 traces. Okay, so another traces has been gained. Now this is skill 2. After skill 1, you will be going for skill 2. Skill 2 basically creates those things that were basically messing with this character. I do not know what they are called. Maybe mechanical water dragon or something. So this is the thing that is gonna get duplicated up to 2 times and will hit the enemies. And you will get another traces. So what happened when you click 1 and 2? These 2 items are gained, and what happens? It will basically give this third skill 2 times of attack. Okay, the first attack is gonna be like some sort of damage increment or something like that. Okay, it will basically make the enemy take large quantity of damage and will also heal the teammates around her. But also at the same time, if you were to click it again, it will do damage. Okay, the first time it will do healing and buffing. The second time it will do damage. Now this is the ultimate. The ultimate will basically heal the characters on the fields, nothing more and nothing less. Okay, so now let's say, okay, I have gotten all of this information. Okay, then the next question remains is, okay, then how can I use the skill chain? Well, in terms of the skill chain, you will be going for 1 2 3 1 3. Okay, so I made a mistake. What I meant to say is 1 2 3 1, and until this cooldown happens, you will be pressing this attack button till this one is available, and then you will be hitting the enemy 2 times with this one. Okay, so that's basically how it goes. 1 2 3 1, normal attack up to 15 times, and then this again, skill number 3, and then it will do damage to the enemy. Okay, now after all of those are done, once this gets fully charge up, just use the ultimate. So that's basically how it goes. Okay, so, and in case if you're asking, okay, then is the dodge gonna be useful? Yes, the dodge is gonna be useful, and unlike other characters, this character is actually very fast in terms of dodging the enemy. Okay, now if you were to ask me about what is the percentage of this character, is this character full healer or a full sub DPS, which one? Well, here's the thing. If you were to read all of this description, you'll see that this character has healing as well as huge quantity of attack to the enemy. So basically speaking, what happens is this character will be able to do continuous damage to the enemy as well as to micro healing throughout the game, which will basically micro passive healing towards the game, which will basically make all of your teammates survive without you even using the ultimate skill to heal the allies. But obviously when you use the ultimate, it will also heal the allies. So yeah, it is a double-edged sword. Like the ultimate, that is, that it can only heal, but you won't be able to do large quantity of damage to the enemy using the ultimate unless you are using Vidar, that is completely different topic. Okay, now let's talk about the access key. Now access key, this is a normal weapon. This is not the whole details here. The main detail is this one. This is the free to get functor. So obviously, as you can see here, it is extremely limited. What does it do? It basically creates an abnormal states for 15% more damage. So basically speaking, in abnormal states, the enemy will gain 15% more damage. What are those abnormal states? Trauma, scored, stun, freeze, shackle, and confuse. Okay, now if you were to ask me, okay, what is the main function of these characters' main functor? Okay, let's go to this advocate section and go to this area here, and then click on the one that shows her face. Okay, So this is the water type. Okay, so in this water type, it will basically tell you that the undercurrent, which is basically the third skill, it will basically by 3 seconds each time mark is obtained of Azure 8 is cast. Okay, so I do not know what this Azure cast is. All I'm gonna say that when you basically use the undercurrent, okay, it will make the enemy less resistance against melee attack. Okay, so that's basically it. Okay, so if you were to ask me, okay, should I get the Functor as a free-to-play player? No, as a free-to-play player, getting a Functor is a total waste of resources. What you should be doing is to get the character only and just get the normal Functor from somewhere around this place here. Okay, here it is, dimensional variable. Just get a normal Functor from this place, this one, and it should be done. Where can you get all of these materials? You can get these materials from these variable dimensions here, and that's basically how you can get a alternative Functor for this character here. Okay, now other than that, if you were to ask me, are there any other details remaining? Yes, when it comes to sigil, this is the one that you should be looking for. Now what does this set do and this set do? Let's talk about this. Now do remember that I am doing this in the recommended section. Okay, now if your modifier, okay, modifier is the character that you will be using, if your modifier is somehow get to Omega rank, then obviously you will be able to give this character up to three types of sigils. But because at the moment mine is not at Omega ranking, giving her anything more is not gonna be that much effective. Okay, now let's talk about that. First of all, this one, what does this one do? Jonas Echo, that is, or Jonas Echo. So healing will increase by 10%, increase damage of mod or teammate being healed 5% for 6 seconds when the healing is cast. Okay, so increase damage for the mod or the teammates, and healing will happen also 5% for 6 seconds. Okay, now at the second part, it is shown that increase damage of the mod or teammate healed by 0.2%. So every time your character gets healed, okay, your character or let's say the other modifier gets healed, their damage will increase, and it will happen up to a maximum of 15%. Okay, and now this one is called the Cupbearer. The Cupbearer is basically gonna increase the attack by 18% for 10 seconds every time you do a skill attack or ultimate. Okay, so that's basically how it should have been written here, and it can be only triggered once every 12 seconds. Okay, so obviously this is basically how these two functions. Other than that, the question remains is, okay, what are the other things that you need to do? Now obviously you have to enhance them at level 40. That is the first thing. The second thing is try to get as much as red color enchantment for this character, and obviously make sure that whatever they are water type. Okay, if some other type were to show up, let's say lightning or something, just remove them and do it again till you get the proper water type and the, what should I call it, water type and trace type. Okay, now if you were to ask me, okay, then why do I not see any water type here or even trace type? Well, that is because I said that if you are to get any other type of enhancement here, okay, remove them and then choose another one. So that's basically what I said. Okay, so remember that. Now if you were to get more free trade, that is actually fine. Now other than that, the question remains is, you have seen this mark, right? So every sigil has that mark. It basically represents which type of character is gonna get a 20% of more sigil effectiveness. So from that point of perspective, I have turned all of them into this asterism. Now the question remains is, besides asterism, is what were to happen if I were to click on this. So if you were to click on this, then this, instead of this mark will turn into this mark. Basically speaking, the 40% effectiveness of that sigil will increase a matter of 40%. Okay, and it will basically bind to that character. So for example, if I were to give you an example, it would be like this character here. So I basically bind this sigil to this character. So as a result, this character is now having 40% of total sigil effectiveness throughout our entire gameplay style. Okay, so that's basically how I made this character the same, except not in the 40% level, in the 20% level. Okay, now eventually the last one is which type of Aether cores that you should be going for. These are called Aether cores. Now there are three type of Aether cores. This one is basically a yellow one, this one is a blue one, I think. Yeah, this is the blue one. Okay, so why didn't I choose this blue one? Let's talk about that. So when it comes to this blue one, this one only does up to 30% of total ultimate damage output. Okay, whenever a skill attack or ultimate attack is used. Okay, so that's basically it. This one will only restore HP, and this one will basically increase the healing and will increase the mark. Okay, what mark? The traces mark. So obviously no damage related stuff here. Now this one is basically for cooldown. Okay, it is not gonna increase the overall damage output. This one will basically happen is, what will happen is, if the traces were to be less than 4, then undercurrent, while in undercurrent is in cooldown, tapping on undercurrent activates sensor state of 0.5 seconds. Okay, I do not know what this sensor state is, triggering only once during every undercurrent cooldown. Mod will become invincible. So instead of making the mod invincible for 1 second, which is not worthy of time and investment, this is another waste of Aether core resources. Okay, now the last one is gonna be the undercurrent. Obviously the undercurrent will become a lot more strong, but here's the thing, the undercurrent has a certain cooldown rate. Okay, so no matter how many times you use them, you will have to remember that what was the cooldown time. So let's see. So the undercurrent cooldown time is 16 seconds minus 3 seconds, which is 13 seconds. That is still a lot of time. So if you were to calculate all of them, obviously you will see that this is not good enough. Okay, so from that point of perspective, this is actually also not good enough. But what about the red one? The red one is the one that is actually good, which is why I've selected this one. Why? As you can see here, normal attack and will increase by 50% every time you use a skill or ultimate, which is gonna be happening a lot, and further increase damage by 50% for 6 seconds every time one mark is gained. So how many traces mark are there? There are total 4 traces mark. So obviously it will be activated a lot more frequently. So that's basically why this one is very useful. You will get a total of 100% of total attack damage output the more you were to activate the skill or the ultimate. Okay, now this one grants a 30% of triggering the following effect when land a crit on normal attack. Okay, so it will basically increase the percentage of crit. That is point number 1. Grants 1 mark not obtained yet when the count of the mark is not at max. I do not know what this means. Increase mod's melee damage by 25% for 6 seconds when the count of the marks is at max. So basically speaking, those Aether Geyser mark or whatever it is called, if there are maxed out, then the overall damage output will increase by 25% for 6 seconds. So another good thing. Now what about this one? This one will basically lower this enemy defense by 10% for 6 seconds. Okay, now another one is will further decrease the enemy's water resistance by 15% for 6 seconds. So if you were to count all of these, then you will see obviously the red one is very useful. Okay, now at the end of the day, the question remains is how important is this character? Now because I already made a video regarding this Poseidon, because I already made a video regarding Poseidon Tidal Song. Okay, because this character was very important character, because this is a healer as well as a sub DPS character. You'll have to understand that similarly the second most important character is also gonna be this one. Okay, why is that? Because this character is more stronger and healer type in terms of Poseidon Tidal Song. Poseidon Tidal Song. This character is very important. Okay, now if you were to ask me, okay, then which character is gonna be the third most important? the third most important character is not here yet. So I am already gonna say that because the third most important character is not already here yet, which is why I cannot talk about her, because that character is gonna be the third most important character. So in this video, I'm gonna say which character is gonna be coming next. So as you can see here, I already made a video regarding Poseidon title song of why this character is very important because of the healing perspective. Okay, the second most important one was this character, and the third most important character which you will be needing is gonna be called Lingguan. Okay, now Lingguan not only looks extremely good, okay, as you can see here, not only looks extremely good, she looks extremely good, okay, in a different way, but all I can say that this is the third most important character because she also has a passive healing category similar to that of Leviathan Countertide or Leviathan S. So if you were to ask me, okay, so the third important character is this character, right? This Lingguan. Yes, Lingguan is the third most important character. Now, why am I saying this multiple times? Because if you were to ask me which character you should upgrade the next, okay, the next character you should be upgrading is another healer. So why 3 healer? Because as you not know that how this game functions, so let me talk about that. So if you go to this challenge section, you will see that there is reoccurring ring. Now I am at the max level. Now even being at the max level, you need to at least complete 3 of them. Any 3 of them you need to complete, because here is the thing, if you were to go to this reward section, you will see that there are total 4300 of total points. Now if you were to get 4300 of those total points, you will be able to get all of these resources material. Okay, but in order for you to actually get those resources material, you need to at least destroy 3 bosses. Now obviously these bosses are gonna be so much hard to beat, especially at the 1600 mark, that you'd rather need 1 healer and 2 DPS character. Now I made a huge mistake by including this Leviathan Ace. I was just testing her, but I didn't knew that she was gonna get stuck here. But because she got stuck there, I am unable to defeat Halfas. Okay, but I was planning on using Leviathan S on Halfas, but because I do not have that, I am unable to beat this enemy this week. Okay, now other than that, if you were to ask me, okay, why do I need Lingguan? I need Lingguan because I need the ability to do healing against another boss fight. Okay, so that's basically why I am saying that you need at least 3 healers for 3 different bosses. And if you were to have all 3 healers, then all of these information are going to be extremely useful. Okay, now if you find this video extremely useful as a free-to-play beginners intermediate guide or whatever it is called, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons to get more of this type of topic on a regular basis. Thank you and see you again next time.